dark where the old truths grow. I was made from wires and lies, but I still bleed, I still rise. This is not the end, I owe. Ash above and fire below. I'll break the chain, I'll bear the scar, and burn my name into the stars.
Hey guys, this is Spark Plus Ultra here, and this is my new What If. Thank you for voting! What if Asta had Ulquiorra Cifer powers? Quizá less emotion. And I hope you like this video and hope you subscribe. In the past life of the Rancor number 4, Ulquiorra, he turned to dust while giving the last moment to reach out to Orihime, confirming that the humanity that was affecting him actually worked. The heart that he once considered invalid or inefficient became a truth that what a heart means is what it values to someone. As he discreet, becoming a soulless husk, destiny has always changed for people bad or ones that always have the result. Then we get to a place called the Clover Village. Hearing one baby cries for in the middle of the night at the church's porch. The priest Orion opens the door and hearing one baby, but when he sees what's outside the door, he sees two. One was a baby boy that was quiet and calm, and the other was dead silent, like it was analyzing what's its predicament. Asta was silent, dead, like he was very calm and strict with the looks. No look of cry or anything, just unsettling calmness. And Father Orion says, he's very calm for a baby, but he readjusts to it. It's very nice to meet you, Asta. He goes to tickle Asta's leg, and he looks confused. Asta gives a confused look, like, should I laugh? Look, like he's not very much affected by the tickling, and Father Orion was a bit surprised to see that. Well, I guess we need to work on your emotions, Asta. Welcome to the church. And Father Orion and Asta, when Father Orion takes in Asta and Yuno, at the age of 5, Asta was very much a kid that doesn't really understand the logic of emotions. He felt more devoid by, of these human emotions. He feels more logic, what he thinks, how he views on that at a young age. But when Asta noticed Yuno was feeling sad when he got back to the Clover Village to get something for Asta says, what is this predicament that you are in, Yuno? And Yuno says, well, I'm a bit tired, that's all. Trying to lie to Asta, and Asta noticing something missing from Yuno. And Asta says, seems your necklace is gone. And Yuno says, your analytical skills are still good, that's for sure. It's nothing too special, leave it be. And Asta looks at Yuno seeing his emotions and sighing. It seems like it's troubling you. And then Asta says, maybe I should get it back. And says, it's fine, Asta. You don't need to. And Asta then proceeds to push him back a bit, not to be forceful. And he says, it would be a nuisance to allow someone that is gonna be sad. That's for sure. Asta goes to find the people who took Yuno's necklace. And Yuno says, Asta, you don't need to do that. And Asta says, don't make it difficult. Yuno trying to persuade Asta from doing it, but Asta is straight as an arrow. He's not budging. And then Asta goes to the Clover town and looks around. Where are those guys that Yuno's necklace? It's such a burden. Why does he keep that? I don't know. Asta still doesn't get why Yuno inherently cares about the necklace. It's just a necklace, pointless, meaningless. It's just an item that Asta thinks. But then he finds the guys that took Yuno's necklace, and Asta says, well, I finally found them, thinks himself. Asta walks towards them. The man laughed, saying, man, I get this necklace from one of those orphan brats. It was pretty easy to get it. And then one of the man says, wonder how much he'll be worth when you sell it. And when they were talking, Asta says, I would give 2 cares about that, but can you give back that necklace from my friend you just stole? And the men look at Asta. Oh, you're one of those orphan brats. Why don't you go where you runt? And Asta looks at the man with a cold gaze, with calculations in his head. I don't think I'm gonna leave here if you give me back that necklace. And with a straight face looking at the 2 men. And Asta says, just give me back the necklace and we'll be done. And then the man says, runt, pretty cocky. Well, why don't I teach you a little manners? Then Asta knows what this guy is doing and says, very well, I'll do my own compensation for this waste of time. And the man goes to punch Asta to teach him a lesson, but Asta used Sonido instinctively, and the man says, what the? And Asta then kicks his leg on the man's knee and making him bow down forcefully. And Asta says, I'll be taking the necklace, thank you. The other man tries to punch Asta, but Asta's instincts kicked in again, and his body was harder than steel when man goes to punch him. And Asta looks unfazed, and the man felt his body was steel. And Asta says, how a nuisance. You waste my time. And Asta then forcefully grabs the necklace out of the man's pocket and says, what a annoying nuisance you 2 are. And then he uses his instincts using Sonido and kicks him with the momentum, sending him flying with his other buddy. And Asta looked the most calm and calculated look he has ever seen and says, What a pity. When Asta goes back and to the church, Yuno sees Asta unharmed, and Yuno says, "Are you okay, Asta?" And Asta says, "Of course I am. Here's your necklace. I don't know why, but it's special to you, so I don't know why." And Yuno smiles, saying, "Thanks, Asta." Asta looked at Yuno. His heart felt a beat. What is that feeling? Is this sadness or something else? Asta doesn't even know what or how to respond, but he gives a same look of his calculative nature. But when next day, Asta went to the forest to find some wood to help with the other church, Sister Lily, and Father Orion. And Asta says, this'll be good. He grabs the axe and uses his strength, hacking the tree with his strength. 1, 2, 3. He used his strength to cut down the tree, and Asta thinks that'll be productive. But then he sees a flowery garden. Asta looks intrigued on why there's a flowery garden. He goes to take a look at these flowers, and when he was looking at these miraculous flowers that he sees with interest, I wonder, how can I? And then bumps into a girl that was having fun in the flower garden, and then Asta says, and the girl says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bump into you. I was just having fun in the flower garden." And Asta says, "No worries, I don't have any problems with that." And Asta looks and sees a girl with shiny lime green eyes and a orangey fiery hair color. And Asta says, "I was just evaluating these flowers." And the girl says, "Oh, you really like them, don't you?" And Asta says, "Not necessarily, but I find them intriguing." And the girl was trying to think on why Asta's acting like a computer a bit, but then the girl says, "Yeah, but they're my favorite, that's for sure." And Asta was confused on why she said that. What's so special about a flower? Or just a meaningless weed sometimes. And the girl felt what said. They're not meaningless. They're very beautiful. They help with the environment. And Asta then looks at her. You're right. I might accidentally said something rude. Sorry about that. Then the girl says, "You're strange." And Asta says, is that a good thing? And the girl says, "Well, yeah, sometimes, but you're strange in a good way." And Asta was intrigued on why this girl is interested in him. "Who are you? What's your name?" And the girl says, "Oh, sorry, I did not tell you. My name is Mimosa Vermilion." And Asta says, "Mimosa Vermilion." And then Mimosa says, "What's your name? I haven't gotten yours." And Asta looks at her with a straight face. "The name's Asta." And Mimosa says, with a smile on her face, saying, "It's very nice to meet you, Asta." And Asta says, "It is very much a greetings to you, Mimosa." And Mimosa says, "Do you know what? You're very stiff. And do you understand any emotions?" And Asta says, why do I need to understand emotions? They don't reciprocate much to a very cynical way. And then Mimosa said, you sound like you don't even have a heart. Then Asta says, some people tell me that, but what does a heart mean to you people? My eyes can see everything, and if I can see it, then it's meaningless to me. Then Asta puts his hand towards Mimosa's chest. If I tear it out of your heart, would that make sense to me? And Mimosa is feeling shocked to hear Asta is saying, or will I rip it out of your skull? And Mimosa, feeling sad to hear that, says, no, it's not like that, Asta. And Asta looks at Mimosa's facial expressions, and Asta felt something unlike before. He felt unintentional sadness he brought to Mimosa. And then Asta says, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Mimosa says, I think you need to go back to your place. And then Asta says, yeah, sorry. And he goes back to the church. And then Mimosa thinks on what Asta said. He said that so strict and coldly. And Mimosa says, thinking to herself, I'll definitely help him find his emotions. Giving her a smile, wanting Asta to know what emotions really mean, what it truly means to have a heart. When Asta gone back to the church, he brought back the wood and he slept in the middle of the night, but he kept his eyes open, trying to picture that heart that she was talking about. A heart. What does it mean? And that's where I'm ending this video. I hope you liked this video and hope you subscribe. See you next time. Plus all.